What's up guys, welcome to another video. Sorry it's been a bit over a week since I posted any videos, but it's been a bit of a crazy time. But yeah, we're back. I've actually been trying to find a front sump for the T18 so that we can make some progress on actually making the engine mounts and the gearbox mounts. And I have finally found a front sump, which is awesome, so that should arrive pretty soon. I've also done a bunch of work behind the scenes on the E36, so it ended up having a warped head after the Adam LZ event. So here's the old head here, and it was just very slightly warped, allowing compression to pass over the head gasket on the third cylinder. So I went to the wrecking yard with Tara. Here's a quick picture. We pulled a head off the car there. It turned out that it was brand new reconditioned head, which is awesome. I threw it on and now she's looking all nice and tidy, which is wicked. And I took it out on Friday night, and we went to the Keep It Re event for a couple of hours of night drifting, which was awesome. Here's a bit of footage. That was an awesome event. Shout out to Keep It Re. Very cool. The only real problem that we came out of it was, it's not really a problem, but we tapped the wall quite a few times and it just kind of pushed the rear of the car over, so I just got to pull that back. I'm also rocking a new wing on the car, which I think looks pretty cool. It's off a Ford Falcon. We've got it at the wrecking yard as well. I reckon it looks awesome, suits the car super well. Fits really nicely. I scraped it up a bit on the walls, as you can see, so I've just got to repaint that. Tail lights are smashed. I usually go through at least one tail light each event when there are walls, so that's always fun. So I've got some new tail lights for it, which I'll chuck in. I'll straighten up the rear a bit more, put a new rear bar on, and she'll be good to go. The E36, now that I've got it running well, the engine's all good, I'm sending it to Damon, and he's going to do a bunch of work on it before round 3 of the Vic Drift Championship. New turbo, which is exciting. It's a TDO 625G turbo going on. He's going to do a brand new dump pipe, brand new exhaust. It's all going to be fabricated properly, new cooler piping, and then we're going to retune it on E85 with a little bit more boost. So it should make a bunch more power, and he's just going to make a couple of other wee modifications and fix a couple of things that I've done on the car that are terrible. But today we're working on the T18. We are doing a coilover install on the rear of the T18. So I've got these coilovers that are out of the back of the E36. Now that I've gone true coilover in the E36, these coilovers have had a pretty hard life, but they're perfect for the T18. There's no leaks, they still work perfectly, they're fully adjustable, and so we're going to make them fit, which is pretty exciting. And then the suspension should be sorted. Front sump should turn up soon, and then we can do the engine mounts, gearbox mounts, wiring, drive shaft. But yeah, I'm loving this thing. I think it's awesome. It's looking super cool. The engine looks right at home in the T18. It's pretty big, but once we've got all the mounts and stuff sorted, the front should sit slightly lower, the bonnet will fit on fine, and you won't even know it's there. I'm just going to leave it naturally aspirated and just see how it goes. Alright, let's get onto it. First things first, jack the rear of the car up. Alright, so the car's up, wheels are off, we've got our tools, and we're good to go. So this is a pretty simple swap really. This should basically go straight in from what I can see. So we've got our shock here, and we've got our spring perch here. So obviously the shocks will bolt up here, and the springs will sit here with the adjustable bottom plate. So what we're going to do is, it's one bolt down here, 14mm, to remove the bottom of the shock, and then a bolt up top to remove the top of the shock, and the shock just comes straight out. And then we're also going to remove the factory bump stops because they're about 3 miles long, and it's not what we want. We'll probably chop them right down just so that we've got some rubber in there to stop the metal hitting the metal. It literally, I think, is just going to bolt up. I don't think we're going to have to make any modifications whatsoever, which is pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and see if my theory is correct. And she's down. And that's the stock shock out. Now we'll go test fit and see if we can test fit the Max Speeding Rods E36 coilover. Boom, look at that. Straight in, up the top here, slide up, do a bolt up, and then we can adjust the height through the body of the shock, which is pretty mad. Crazy, literally fits right in. This thing should handle much better with the suspension in it, which is awesome because there's actually not really any good off the shelf stuff for these old cars. Whew. Alright, we'll remove the bump stop and we'll fit the spring in and see how it all looks. Giant bump stop. Gone. Awesome. So we'll just chop this down to this line here and then put it back in. It just means that we have more room for travel, but we'll still have some rubber there so that if it does for some reason bottom out, which it won't, but if it does, then we'll have rubber there instead of hitting the metal on the metal. Alright, so I chopped the bump stop down. We're gonna bolt it back in so we can put the spring in. There's the perch, and then we'll tighten everything up and see how it looks.
Well, what's weird is when they went back the next day and bought 2 more. Dude, I mean, play it the slightest bit cool. But yeah, they're like, we have 6 hefty bags of $100 bills. We want people to know. Yeah. So of course all these bills are
Alrighty guys, so I have completed, I think, the install. Everything is solid, tight. We've got this bolt done up here, the rubber in, and it seems all good. So I'm going to put the wheel back on and drop it on the ground and kind of see what height it sits at, because it's going to be super stiff, I reckon, on the side, but we'll suss out how it looks. It's crazy that the E36 suspension just fits straight in. Yeah, pretty stoked. It looks mad. Looks like it's supposed to be there, so that's pretty cool. So chuck a wheel on, drop it on the ground. Alrighty, wheels are on. As you can see, this side sits up way higher already than this side, which is super droopy with the stock shock. So it's nice having the smaller shocks in there, because you don't have to jack it up as high at the track to change your wheels, which is mad. Work smarter, not harder. Oof. Look how high it sits with the new springs. I think we're going to have to remove the spring perches. We might not even need them on there. I think that we can remove those perches, just have the springs sitting in there, and it'll be as low as we want it to be, because the springs are so much stiffer. Rad. Alright, well, I'll jack it back up. We'll remove that perch and lower it back down, because you know we need it as low as possible. Alrighty, so we went ahead and cut the springs, and the way that these springs get wider down the bottom, it actually worked out really well, because now the springs fit on the spring perches, which is pretty rad. So I'm going to see how this works out for us, but it should sit at a good height now. It is literally perfect. Super stoked. Alright guys, we're going to wrap that video up there. Obviously I'll do the exact same thing to the other side now that I've got that one side perfect. I'm pretty stoked that the E36 coilovers went straight into the T18. It's kind of funny, now we're running a BMW engine and BMW suspension and a Toyota, so technically we basically have a new Supra. Comment below if you think that I should get a Supra badge and put it on the T18 just to be a dickhead. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Next episode we will have the front sump. We'll be putting it on the engine, and we'll be making engine mounts and gearbox mounts, which I am excited for, because I want that thing to be sitting properly and pretty in there so that we can move on to getting it running and taking it drifting, which is going to be awesome. But this thing's going to be a little weapon. We've got lots more content coming up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram @itsmarklake. Thank you guys. Peace.